live. Hey Rahul, welcome back. Okay. Hi and welcome to another episode of the Weekend Aquarist. Today's episode is with not one guest but multiple guests, and we are with the team of Freshwaters India Foundation. That's the NGO that has recently been registered, and it is by none other than our friends. Some of you have already met and keep meeting them. Please welcome the Freshwaters India team, and let me welcome Beta Mahatvaraj, Deepak
Hi.
Sathyanarayan, and Nilanjan. And we also had Rahul, who joined us, gave us a brief appearance, and he's disappeared again. So Rahul will be joining us back. There's also Dinyar. Dinyar is from the United States. He's an Indian who's based over there, and we'll have Peter talk about him also. But as usual, I hog all the limelight. I start talking and I can't stop, so I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to hand it over to Beta. Beta, why don't you give us another round of introduction, and when Rahul joins, you can, introduce him again.
Sure,
Go ahead, Beta.
sure. Yeah, so I'm sure that I've been a frequent guest, so otherwise known as main current. So I've been doing a lot of work on fish documentation along with some of my friends who are also on the call, and that kind of actually led us to form the foundation. There's also Dinyar. Unfortunately, he's unwell today, but he's been a long-term aquarium hobbyist with a lot of
Mm.
interest in conservation. So he was here a couple of years back, and that kind of we had an early conversation on how we can start it off.
Mm.
Rahul, of course, he has experience both in conservation, fish taxonomy,
Mm.
even as a researcher, right? So
Mm.
again, important part of the group. Deepak and Neil probably they can do their introduction. Deepak, you want to start?
Sure, Peter, thanks. So I have been, like most of us, in our childhoods, kept fish in bottles and those things. Those things are quite normal. After that, got interested in native fishes around 18, 20 years back. Then got involved with one of the forums, IAH. Then that's where we all met Peter, Nilanjan, Rahul, everyone. And we have been going on these trips and kind of seeing the biotopes and things for quite some years now, more than a decade. So generally, what we saw that uh, kind of motivated or forced us to kind of think like, okay, we are seeing these things, so
Right.
how do
Right.
we bring in some change? So that has been the thing.
Right.
Okay,
And
go ahead.
what? Well, let's move on to Nilanjan. I've got a question later, and I'll come
Sure,
back to
sure.
that. Nilanjan, go ahead, please.
Hey Amar, yeah, similar sort of track as these guys. I've also known them pretty much forever because, like Deepak mentioned, we all met on Indian aquarium hobbies back in like the
Right.
early
Right.
2010s. Um,
Right.
I was still in school at the time,
Yeah.
uh, but I think fish is kind of in my blood. I'm from Calcutta. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think grew up around fish in various forms constantly. Um, and that's pretty much how it's been my whole life. Just been keeping fish, looking at
Right.
fish,
Right.
catching fish, talking about fish with these guys.
Right.
And we've been doing it for years and years and years, and finally decided enough is enough. We should formalize it so that all our madness can be channeled constructively. And
Right.
that's how we landed up here.
Right. So the five of you came together and have created this NGO, Freshwaters India Foundation. What prompted you for the need of such an NGO focused on the freshwater biodiversity? Peter's frozen, so I guess one of you will have to take that.
Okay.
Peter, you're back.
He's-
Yeah.
Did you get that? Okay, go ahead, Nilanjan.
Oh, I'm happy to let Beta or Deepak take this.
Beta, I don't know whether you got the question.
No,
I
I
was
didn't get
asking.
that, so I suddenly
Okay.
glitched out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what prompted the formation, the creation of Freshwaters India Foundation. How did the five of you think about this as a goal and started it off? So if you could just give us a background on that.
Yeah, I think this group that you see here, we've been doing this trip for a very long time, right? I think it's almost 20 odd years, right? And what we've seen is over the years, gradual deterioration, some gradual, some very drastic, whenever we had some man-made disasters or natural disasters, right? And another part of it is that when we start engaging the public on regarding fish, uh, the mind space that fish has on most people among the public is that as a source of food, right? And not something that needs to be conserved. Like if you see any mascot species, like say a tiger or a bison, right? Everyone of us or the in the public knows that okay, this is something that needs to be conserved. It is a biodiversity treasure for India and so on.
Right.
But
Right.
somehow fish have not occupied that role, right?
Right.
And that is one objective that we had, that we need to kind of change that perspective, right? And how do we change that perspective is obviously how it is linked to life, not just livelihoods. I mean, just to the human community, right? The same habitat, usually, is, let's say, freshwater, right? Is both important for the fish and for us, right? And if
Right.
the fish are doing well in that habitat, means that, for example, the fish, the water in which they live in is also
Healthy.
safe for us,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
in a way, it is linked. And
Yeah.
what we've been trying is to kind of create that, educational platform as well, right? So one of the things when we got together and spoke about, okay, what should we do, is that have more programs where we connect with the public and send out this message, and not just say conserve fish, right? But have a larger message that, like say, when you conserve freshwater or water bodies, you just don't conserve fish, right? You preserve the habitat for the animals which come to the water for water. Then you conserve the plants which live around it, the crustaceans, invertebrates, and everything you preserve it. And obviously, the humans are getting benefit, right? So I think that is what we found as a common, platform or common objective that we had.
Right.
That's what you started. That right now there are like there are more than 1,000 plus species of freshwater fish that are already described, right? And it's growing
Right.
every year. Right from last year, you have fishes getting described every year.
Right.
So we thought,
Right.
you know, one is obviously to most people won't be aware that there are so many species of fish, right? Like for
Right.
example, they probably their assumption of what is there in a pond is based on what they see as a fisherman's catch or as a child, right?
Right.
Right, an angling or as a pastime, right? So those are the things that we wanted to change. Broadly, that's subjective, more as an educational platform. Taking this message to the public, especially the children, right? They are a lot
Right.
more. They absorb these things better, and they have a lot more kind of awareness about environment and so on, especially things like climate change and so on, right? They're a lot more sensitive about that.
Right.
Deepak,
Right.
Neil, I don't know if I missed out something that you want to add.
Yeah, sure. Beta's kind of give an overview on, of the whole thing, and again, I'll repeat some of the bits. So what we saw over time is like this degradation of these habitats when we visited repeatedly or like few years apart,
Right.
and when we had these disasters, whether man-made or natural, like those changes were quite drastic. And we kept on seeing this, and eventually, I think probably a year or year and a half back, Beta brought this up, saying that okay, we have been seeing these things. I think it is time to kind of we start doing something about it, because each time we go there, it's quite painful to see how things have degraded.
Right.
So that was the kind of motivation to kind of get this started. And as Beta said, kind of make people aware. And one most important thing that we want to also focus on too is make the population people who live around these places, make them aware of, again, if there are other animals, terrestrial ones, people do see them and see what's happening. But if it's in the water, it might not get noticed, or a lot
Right.
of people might not even know what is there in their
Right.
own streams.
Right.
So make them aware of those things, make them aware of the uniqueness of those species, and then kind of try and find out a solution with them. It cannot
Right.
be done without the local population's involvement. So that is one of the things that what we want to do is make them involved in these, even finding the solution and working out how to kind of go about
Okay.
doing that.
Okay.
So that is what we are trying to do.
Nilanjan, you want to add to that?
That they've pretty much covered all the bases.
Okay.
But yeah,
I,
something that we definitely want to stress on is to change that perception of fish just being a resource
right.
to them being part of an ecosystem. They are
Right.
wildlife. Like
Right.
you ask someone what wildlife did you see if you when they visited I don't know, some sort of sanctuary or a
Yeah.
natural habitat, and
Yeah.
they will never say fish. They're not going to say,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we saw rice fish in the water, or like a pair of snakeheads with their
Right.
fry. That never
That's
comes about,
that's
right?
not
And that
going to
is the
come.
perception we
Yeah.
want to change.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to, share screen, and we'll just take a quick look at your presentation and go over the introduction once again. So let me know, guys, when you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can.
Peter, can you see the screen? Yeah?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can.
Okay, so once again, and I must apologize to all of them because, you know, ChatGPT did play around with their looks, Beta especially.
Mine
Okay,
is
but the
worse.
rest of them, yeah, the rest of them are still
Who
looking somewhat.
who does he look like,
Uh,
Deepak? Deepak said that Beta has
Atul
transformed.
Kulkarni.
Atul
Atul
Kulkarni.
Atul.
Kulkarni.
okay,
You should just
I
call
thought
him
it was just the
Atul
so
now.
Botox. Yeah, Kulkarni Botox.
okay, so these are the five gentlemen behind Freshwaters India Foundation.
The fourth
Beta
gentleman has just
Mahatvaraj,
popped up.
yeah, Deepak Sathyanarayan, Dinyar Lalkaka, he's from the US, Nilanjan Mukherjee, and Rahul Kumar. Rahul is Rahul over here? Has he joined us? Okay,
Yeah,
no.
I can see his
Okay,
face now.
okay, good. Okay, the
Sorry
Weekend
guys,
Aquarist.
having issues with internet here right now.
Yeah, we can wait that
So
out.
yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so the Weekend Aquarist would like to thank ADA India and Stillwater Aquatics. They are our platinum sponsors, platinum partner, and for supporting the education, conservation, and the nature aquarium hobby. Thank you for supporting us. And they wanted me to also touch upon the Great Indian Aquascaping Contest, which entries are on, and this time around it's even more better, and there are newer categories, and entries are on till November 30th. So don't miss out. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you participate. Hey Nilanjan, I think you're typing, is it? The ski, the clicking keeps coming. I can hear, we can hear that. It's quite sharp that way, the audio. And today we are with the Freshwaters India Foundation co-founders, and Beta or Rahul. Since you have some guests, and happy Onam to you, Rahul. Rahul, can you hear us? Rahul.
And
You got to
could you
unmute it.
repeat that, Amar? Sorry.
Yeah, so I said since it's you've got guests over for Onam, I said happy Onam, and
Oh, thank you.
if you could take the lead and talk about your your thoughts on why this was needed, Freshwaters India Foundation.
Right. So I'm sorry if I missed this before, and if the other guys have already covered this. But the five of us have kind of known each other for the better part of about 25 years now, I suppose. Beta and I have known each other since 2000. I've known Dinyar for like a year more than that. Deepak and Nilanjan since about 2004, 2005. And all of us individually and together have at various points visited a fairly large number of habitats, freshwater habitats across India, the Western Ghats in Bengal, in Assam, in Arunachal Pradesh, in Meghalaya, pretty much most of southern and much of northeast India, not much in the northwest of India. And what we've noticed over this period of time is a gradual decline in the quality of habitats. Right. So what we've seen is no matter how remote the location that we've been to, there's invariably some form of plastic or other forms of waste in the habitats. We've seen uh, changes in the actual habitat itself, lowering water levels, changes in the habitat structure. What was earlier mostly rocky is now kind of covered in sand and silt. What was earlier sandy is now completely bare rock. So what we've realized over the past few years is that a lot of the general public don't really know about what happens in these rivers and these water bodies. Like going back to what is on the screen there, right? We water is essential for our life, but we only think of water primarily in terms of what comes out of our taps. We don't really see what happens in nature, where the water comes from. And what we'd like to do at Freshwaters India is kind of build up awareness amongst the general public on what is out there, not just in terms of habitats, but also in terms of the life that inhabits these waters. Could it be? They could be fish, could be amphibians, crustaceans, birds, plants. All of these life forms that inhabit these water bodies. We'd like to educate the general public on what's out there and why we need to conserve this. Primarily raise awareness, and hopefully, as people become aware, they will themselves realize that we need to conserve these habitats, not just for the animals that live there, but also to secure our own supplies of clean water for future generations to come. So we started on this process last year. It took us a better part of a year to get everything organized, and we finally got everything online last month. We've just started work, so we don't really have much to talk about in terms of the work that we're doing right now. But what we expect to do is primarily conservation themed education, research, and outreach. We hope to put out pamphlets and books and booklets about these habitats in various Indian languages, not just English. We hope to put out short films that will educate people. I mean, Vita has been putting out a lot of fantastic content on Meenkaran, on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And we kind of hope to build on that and put out additional content that will be more educative and reach out to as many people as possible and try and build a network of volunteers who can then take this work, across India and build upon what we've started and conserve all of these beautiful habitats.
Right. So beautifully put, Rahul. So, how how do people get associated with Freshwaters India Foundation if they want to volunteer? How do they go about that? If you could just touch upon that as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
right now, yeah,
Go
Rahul,
ahead.
I can take that. So right now they can write to us or get on register, not register, right? Show their interest to be a part of our future programs. And once we have our programs finalized, we can bring people on board based on where they live,
Right.
how convenient it is for them. If they have an area of expertise, we can probably bring in them for fun, right? So we're just starting out, building out all the programs.
Okay.
So while we are talking about the programs, one interesting thing is that we've been studying the Denisonai habitat, I think, for a couple of years now. and we're actually working on a small web documentary, a YouTube documentary. So hopefully that will be out in November. So I'm sure that is going to have a lot of scenes, like habitat videos that have now been seen before. And I mean, it was quite a experience for us to stay in the water, snorkel, and film that. Hopefully, we can bring that out, in the next couple of months.
Awesome,
So,
awesome. And Beta, while we are at it, congratulations on your new release, the book that you've released, The Fishes of Chennai. Congratulations on that. Do you want to quickly
thanks so much.
tell the audience about that and where they can order it also?
Sure, sure. Like everything else with me, it takes time to put anything out. So this took us 3 years. Initially, I wasn't interested in putting it out because I was thinking Arvind is the one who suggested it. I was thinking like who would want to read about the fishes of Chennai, right?
Uh,
Probably we can talk about the biryanis of Chennai or something like that. Who would want to? But I mean, with this, you know how persistent he is, right? So with this prodding,
yeah,
we started some work, and there was, I mean, it was quite entertaining. We got some, cultural context. We kind of went through the whole literature. We found that there are a lot of fish that were not found in 1916, but were found in the 2010 survey. There are
wow,
fishes found in the 2010 survey which we didn't find it, but we found other fish.
right, right,
A very drastically altered habitat that we have in Chennai. There is still a bit of native fish population, especially around the outskirts.
right,
So we've been, doing a lot of field trips, trying to photograph,
right,
and I think the uh, last few months it's basically finalizing the book and then reading it once more and finding 20
right,
more wrong things in that, and then printing a sample and another finding another 25 wrong things in the book.
right,
So we're still in the stage of that.
right,
We submitted the print final manuscript this weekend. So you can,
right,
like my, the T-shirt collection, Starboy T-shirt collection.
right,
You can find the book there.
right,
So we didn't put it on Amazon to keep the pricing and everything nominal in a way. So people can
right.
get it off Starboy site. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Awesome, awesome. And talking about the Star Boy, the Weekend Aquarist custom design T-shirt is already here, and today we are having the last lucky draw at the end of this. So let's carry on. Okay. So quickly, this is Rahul, and Rahul, who's with you. You want to talk about very quickly. You just want to kind of just give the audiences the kind of glimpse at what is the kind of work that you guys have been doing out in the field.
Right. So this is from one of our field trips where we are. It's one of our photo tanks, and we're just taking pictures of the fish that we've collected from that river. So one of the things that we want to do as part of our outreach is use live images and live video wherever possible. Right. In many places, we try to get into the water and photograph specimens in situ. Some places it's really not viable for us to get into the water, so we have to take the fish out and put them in a photo tank and take photographs. So this is one of those a background image from one of those field trips. I'm using a chopstick to position the fish so that Nilanjan can get a good shot of it.
Okay.
So you'll probably see the fruits of this particular project maybe next year. So we hope to put out content like this on a regular basis. Once we
Sure.
get our footing and get the system rolling, we should have more
Right.
content coming out on a regular basis.
Right.
So it's a start. So we'll have documentaries, we'll have photo essays, we'll have pamphlets and books, like I said. So all of
Right.
this will be coming down the line.
Right. 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 Okay. So you are in action again.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just want to kind of, I think this picture, will come back to this one again, and this is Beta Uncle. Beta, where are you?
So I am in a estuary close to Chennai that's been in the news very recently because of a massive death of fish, like a huge set of fish dying due to pollution. I think it was just a week back. So the currently the fishermen there are actually protesting because they've basically lost their livelihood. A
Right.
lot of the fish and crustaceans like shrimps and crabs, they've all died and washed ashore. So you can see the industries in the background, right? Uh,
Yes, yes.
it's a very sensitive area, but unfortunately, every year there has been some incident like an oil slick or earlier this year I saw some dredging, and this is where I was photographing the mud skipper, Goliophthalmus bodata, goggle-eyed goby. So we spent a couple of hours photographing, but unfortunately, the population of gobies and mudskippers have been. I mean, this habitat has been badly altered. There's been like dredging. Last time I was there, there were like JCBs. I mean, JCBs in a mangrove, I mean, disaster, right? So, mission is sharp deterioration of the habitat. So, a lot of dead mudskippers and so on. Yeah, but that's the background. So it's kind of a pity. The last time that we were there, we hardly saw any mudskippers there.
Tell us about this, Rahul. Is that Rahul, right?
Uh, yeah, I think both are Rahul.
I,
Rahul,
no,
this
I
is
think
explain.
this is Deepak. This is Deepak in
Deepak,
the
is it?
Netravati. Yeah.
No, it's both you.
Hey, it's
Rahul.
you,
Oh,
Rahul.
Rahul. Yes,
Oh, is
Rahul.
it?
Yeah,
It's me on the left. Okay.
Rahul.
I mean, too many pictures of me. You should put pictures of
Yeah,
Deepak.
seriously. Okay, I was
He's
confused. I said I need to.
he's the handsome guy of the sun. So he's our mascot, like a panda. Rahul is our mascot.
There's an obvious bias, as you can see.
Oh God. Okay, this is.
That is Deepak.
Yeah, that's me.
That is Deepak.
So,
Okay.
That
Yeah.
is
Go
Deepak
ahead.
doing what Deepak loves to do.
yeah. Given a chance, I would just be in these places and spend hours doing whatever.
This is the aquatic yoga, Deepak's specialty.
Okay, so yeah, so I just wanted to take a moment, thank our feature partners, the 2 Hour Aquarist and TC Nature Lab. Thank you for supporting the Weekend Aquarist. Okay, and before I move on, let me just go back to that one picture. Beta and I were talking about this. This is about sand mining, and this is illegal sand mining. Beta, you want to touch upon this because I want to kind of then move on to another topic also
Yeah,
related.
sure. I'm not sure if this is legal or illegal sand mining,
Mm,
because I guess in some places they do allow sand mining. But the impact, at least in our area of interest, which are fish, is pretty bad, right? So the ones in the fishes which live in the water column, they are mostly okay, right? But if you remove the bottom, right, basically all the benthic species are depend on biofilm and the rocks and pebbles under which they breed and so on.
right, right.
You kind of remove an entire set of fish, bottom dwellers, right, which are dependent on food from there. They depend on breeding and territory and all that, right? So
Mm,
that's a problem. So even if it is not man-made, even during a flood, there's silt
mm,
deposition over rocks and so on, which is usually
mm,
the feeding ground for ones which feed on periphyton or biofilm.
right,
Then
right.
basically you are kind of starving them, right? So
Mm,
this is a big problem that we have seen. Sand mining
mm,
is a big issue.
mm,
Uh, and even other than that, there are some localized problems like dynamite fishing that we see. So
mm,
we might be surveying in an area and suddenly we hear a loud blast, right? It's
right,
usually
right,
dynamite
right.
fishing.
So I wanted to ask you, I mean, this is a question for one of you, whoever feels can, had a, we saw what happened in Nepal just a few days back, and it's such a terrible disaster, and there's so much talk going on that this is because of global warming and how the glacier kind of broke through and then crashed down. I know it's still early days, people are still investigating and all, but the terrible toll of such an incident, a flash flood like that, and rap, rampant construction around the banks all along the way. Okay, and so I just wanted your thoughts on you know what's happening. What is your observation? Because you've been going through the Western Ghats, you've been going all through the Eastern Ghats, you've been going on the Northeast. Okay, so what are your thoughts on this?
I think Neil is best placed. He's spent a lot of time in the Himalayan landscape as well as the Western Ghats. So, Neil, you can provide your perspective.
Um, I mean, what happened in Nepal is an absolute tragedy and a disaster, but it's not surprising because we have been seeing more and more such events now, very at a very accelerated rate. Closer to home, or rather, it's almost in the same region. But in 2023, there was a similar flood event in Sikkim that has altered so much of the ecology of the Tista afterwards. I have friends there who tell me they just don't find the same fish afterwards because there's so much silt that's been washed downstream. Um, yeah, the Himalayas are very young. They're still growing. They're soft mountains, and I think a lot of people forget that even a degree of change in climate can cause very drastic circumstances. 1 degree is all it needs for ice to melt into water, right? Um, and I think everyone is aware of how dangerous development or sort of unchecked or unscientific development can be along very close to the river. Of course, it's required, but there really needs to be a lot more careful thinking about how to do it because we are going to see more of these events.
And you must be seeing this kind of unchecked infrastructure being built all across. I mean, I'm not talking about Nepal alone, I'm talking about India. You're seeing this right in front of us, and the amount of deforestation, the amount of sand mining, for example, all over, feeding into the construction, feeding into that industry. Any thoughts, Peter, Deepak, Rahul?
Yeah, I'll probably go first. I mean, from my experience with guards, all of us have seen 2018 and 2019, right? Both in Karnataka and Kerala. Both these places had floods. And we've seen a lot of, similar to what Neil mentioned in Sikkim, right? When silt gets deposited in otherwise hill stream habitats or rocky habitats and so on, uh, I mean, there is a drastic change in the habitat, right? Due to which a lot of the, the thing is that the presence of fish doesn't mean that the habitat is healthy or anything like that. Presence of niche fishes, specialized feeders, that usually means that the habitat is healthy, right? So what usually happens is there might still be fish in those areas, but fish like Balitora or size-solid catfishes, the ones which are sensitive, very specific, they need specific microhabitats to survive in. Those usually take a beating, all right? And anecdotally, right, I remember that people telling me that after that, Chalakudi floods and all that, one of the sensitive Balitora, like Travancore alangeta, that kind of disappeared from that Adrapalli area, right? So, I mean, at least I haven't heard of any sightings since then. But probably Rahul has also spent a lot of work in that area, done some work in that area, so he can kind of pick up the thread, uh, share his experiences on that as well.
Right. So it's a complex issue. That doesn't have any easy solutions. Climate change is definitely a factor. We've seen changes in rainfall patterns. When it rains, it's usually very heavy rain. Otherwise, we don't have much rain. So in habitats that used to have water that was nearly a meter deep in the summers now tend to have water that's maybe a third of that in the summer, and we don't know how much longer those habitats will remain viable. When it rains heavily, we get a lot of runoff. We get silt and sand washed into the rivers. We get floods. We get landslides, uh, and it's very difficult to balance, conservation with development needs. Right, all of us, we are using the internet and mobile and electronic devices right now. They need electricity,
Right.
so we can't just say that you cannot build power plants here, or we cannot have a blanket ban on agriculture or tourism or development in sensitive areas. We need to come up with viable solutions that take into account the requirements of the people who've lived there for generations, as well as the requirement of people who live further away who are making use of those resources.
Right.
And that's part of what we hope to do in the years to come, right? Work with the people who live by these aquatic habitats, work with people uh, who are in decision making positions, and kind of try and come up with solutions that meet as much of all of these different goals as possible.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I've got a question from one of our viewers. This is the Raj. Are you also planning to build a publicly available freshwater species occurrence and trait dataset for freshwater species of India that can be used in I can't see that research purposes later by researchers?
A database of species that are in the trade, or just a database of Indian freshwater fish species?
No, no, he's not talking about the trade. He's talking about freshwater species and their occurrence and the traits that they have,
Okay.
features, traits, and all.
Right. Traits, not trade. Sorry. So you can get a generalized database on Fishbase. You'll have to uh, kind of curate that data, because Fishbase is generally about 4 to 5 years behind recent taxonomic changes. You can also get some of that information from HMI's catalog of fishes by the California Academy of Sciences. Again, it's not a very easily parsable database. You'll have to do a little bit of digging and pull out data and then sort it and curate it for whatever purpose you need it for. There
Yeah.
is no database at present that includes traits. I mean, no database that.
So,
Uh,
so the question, Rahul, is more like, is Freshwaters India Foundation going to, have some of this in their plans also? I think that was the question from him.
Yes, so there is something that is a bit down the line. We are planning for a reasonably comprehensive, publicly accessible database on freshwater fishes, not just freshwater fish, but freshwater diversity in general,
Right, right, right.
classified by river basin and habitat type and all of that. But
Awesome.
that takes time.
Yeah.
It will be a community led effort. So when we get it off the ground, we'll probably hold a series of workshops for interested volunteers who can then generate data that is of a quality suitable enough for the database,
Right,
right? So that we have a uniform quality in terms of photographs that are submitted, in terms of the
right,
uh, habitat data that is collected and put in
right.
there. Uh, so yes, that is something that will happen down the line.
Awesome. So I think
And to add to
an
that,
initiative like this, yeah, go ahead, Deepak.
the thing is, individually, we have tried to do that multiple times earlier. The thing is, we don't want to kind of repeat the same thing again. Rather than that, we are still working on the right way of kind of, how do I say, presenting it the
Okay.
way in which it can be classified in different ways, and it will be useful for multiple users. So that is quite complex, and that is what we are trying to figure out still. So once we have that, again, we'll work on filling it out, and so it's going to take time. Basically, that's what you want.
I'm sure, and I think you can rope in the volunteers from all over India
Yeah,
for contributing
yeah.
more in
Once the
terms of the
platform is
research and
ready,
all.
Yeah, once the platform is ready, it would be a, as Rahul said, it would be a community
Correct, correct, correct,
activities. Yes.
correct. Nilanjan, you want to add to that?
No, that's again pretty comprehensive. It's something that, as Deepak said, we've all kind of had in the game plan, and Deepak has actually made a few iterations of it himself. It's just going to take a while. It's going to take some effort, and because all of us still work professionally, sadly,
Yeah,
we need to build that community to drive this because we don't have time
all of us.
otherwise. Yeah.
All of us. I must emphasize that point. All of us. Okay, so
Indeed.
so that's why it's called the Weekend Aquarist. Okay, so that's
I
one
think
of
we're
the
all
reasons.
weekend aquarists right now. Each one
Yeah,
of
that's
us.
true. That's true. So I just wanted to thank all of you for taking off the time, and this is just the start because we would want to keep hearing from you as you make newer progress as the platform is launched and all, and the Weekend Aquarius is there to support all of those initiatives. And before you all go, and since it's Rahul's Onam celebration also, we have this last weekly lucky draw, and the winner gets the last of these T-shirts. Of course, I'll keep coming back with more of these offers, but hey, I wanted to show off this T-shirt also. Okay, so this is the Chana Chel, and the design is by Karthik, the Dar Star boy, and I'm just going to read out these three names so that they know that their names are there. So this is Sonu, and there's just three of them. Okay, so one of them is going to be the. It's always been a 33% chance all throughout. We just keep adding one or two every week. And there's Kapil Tiwari. Your name is over here, Kapil. And the last is Arun Kumaraswamy. Okay, so the way this goes is I'm going to ask the Onam boy to pick up and tell me when to stop. Okay, I'm going to kind of keep mixing it. So Rahul, you have to tell me when to stop, and you get the honor of picking up this week's winner. You have to tell me though when to stop.
Stop.
Otherwise, I'll keep doing. Okay. So here we are, and this is the winner is Sonu. So Sonu is from from Orissa, and amazing. Congratulations, Sonu. And Rahul, thank you for choosing the winner. I'm sure Sonu is watching this one because I told all of them, hey, you need to be there on this weekly draw. But congratulations, Sonu, and your T-shirt. Once you confirm the size, will be on its way in about 7 to 8 days. Send us the photographs. Tag us on Instagram. Okay, so before we close, once again, guys, wishing Freshwaters India Foundation all the very best. This is from all the viewers of the Weekend Aquarist, and please keep us posted on the progress you make. When you open up the platform, when you want volunteers to contribute, when you want people to support you by way of funds or whatever it is, it's a fundraiser, let us know. We will amplify that message. So thank you once again for joining,
Thank you.
everyone,
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
and
you for
Thanks for
hosting
having
us,
us.
Thanks a
Kumar.
lot.
happy
Bye bye.
weekend. Thanks, Rahul. Happy Onam once again. Thank you.
Happy
Bye.
Onam,
Thank
Rahul.
you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Happy Onam,
Just
everyone.
I'm going to stop the live stream. Okay, and just hold on till I end the live stream. Okay, and then I'm going